Our next speaker is responsible for international strategy and business development at a fast-growing European online travel company that has famously never spent a single euro on Google Ads. The company now operates in 10 countries and has leveraged social media to evolve into an award-winning brand that curates hot travel deals. Please welcome the CEO of HolidayPirates Group, David Armstrong. Thanks for joining us, David.
Sure.
So HolidayPirates, it started as a travel blog back in 2011, but since then I've heard you guys refer to as a deal site, an OTA, a media publisher, social media company. So in your words, can you tell us how you would describe the company?
All of that.
All of the above.
more or less. It depends on the market. We are an OTA in some markets for some travel verticals, but for most of them we're not. So we're best described as a travel deal sourcing website that, or system platform that promotes them on social media predominantly.
And so how do you source your deals? Is it that maybe I want to advertise something that I have and I come to you and see if you'll send it out to your audience, or do you go out there and search for, truly searching for these on your own?
Both, actually. So it started with us searching for things manually back in the days, 2011, 2012. That, of course, changed. We made it more scalable with technology that we developed to help us find great deals and also publish them. And becoming more and more known in markets, more and more tour operators or other travel brands approached us and asked us to promote their deals. That's right. So that happens as well.
So I used to work at one of the travel deal sites, and my job was to find deals and manually check to see how good the value was, which was a different experience. So can you talk a little bit about the use of technology in finding these deals and how that works with the deal finding process?
Sure. So we, in the beginning, our travel deal hunters used meta search like Skyscanner, Kayak, and so on to compare flights and find great deals. We, of course, have connected a couple of APIs for flight, but also for package travel, for hotel, for many different travel verticals, and set an algorithm that tries to find hidden golden nuggets, so to speak. Nobody's really searching for them, but we do, and once we find them, we pull them out and promote them on social media.
And so then how do you define what's a good deal, right? Because to me, maybe something's a good deal, but to the person next to me, not so much.
Yeah.
So how do you vet it and decide what your consumers want?
So there are two things. First of all, you find something great, a great price value deal. You reference it at the point of time if it's a good deal or not. In general, generally speaking, that's the first step. The second step is the personalization part, the relevance part of the business, which is a big thing. We're working on that tremendously right now, and it's hard to tackle, but we're getting better at it to really present you what you most likely are interested in.
Now, so you mentioned social media is a big part of how you guys promote your business. So you have 10 million followers on Facebook now, I believe?
I think almost 11 by now.
Yeah, so that's more than Expedia has, that's more than TripAdvisor has. So what do you think you've done that has allowed you to become this social media sensation in the travel space?
Yeah, it's not only Facebook, but Facebook is our largest, that's right. It's the content. It's the, if it's a great deal, if it's not just any random sort of travel deal somewhere, if it's great, people like it, and the most important thing, share it. And that's how we gain our reach. We actually only acquire traffic on social media. We pay for some of the traffic, but only for 9% of our total traffic. Everything else is organically gained on social media, on search engines. We don't pay for traffic otherwise.
So you're relying on your followers seeing, number one, your content show up in their feed, and then also maybe resharing it on your behalf to widen the reach.
That's how we have like 35 million sessions monthly.
Yeah. Have you found that it's getting harder to stay competitive just on social, though, now that there's more ad content and advertising opportunities that are kind of cluttering the users' feeds? Is it harder to get discovered and still rely on the social channel?
Yeah, things change. The algorithms change of Facebook, of Instagram, and so on. That's right. But it's about understanding what's happening and figuring out how to respond to that. In the essence, of course, is all these platforms want to show their users things that might be relevant to them. So if we manage to be liked and shared a lot by your personal friends on Facebook, you're more likely to see it as well on your feed.
Right. Good point. And so your users, they're mainly millennials, or what demographic? Millennials.
Yeah,
so,
predominantly, yeah.
So then are you doing more with, let's say, Instagram or Snapchat? Our research really shows that these visual platforms are getting more and more popular among the millennials, especially Instagram, which is catching up to Facebook among that group.
Yeah, it's growing for us as well. We invested a lot in Instagram. We were quite Facebook dependent like 2 years ago, I would say. Now we have like Instagram in place. We invest a lot into WhatsApp as well. We consider that as a social media channel as well with a direct communication. And that's what we see. Of course, the demography on Facebook is, getting older and older a bit, step by step, and that's okay. The millennials are more on Instagram now, and Gen Z is, using other platforms.
And apart from targeting different age demographics with the different social platforms, are there other specific strategic decisions of how you leverage each one, just given the way that the content is per platform?
Right. So, some content is not proper for every platform. That's right. So we try to figure that out. We try to understand which content would be more relevant to the people on which platform. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so how do you guys measure success, right? Does it look like more followers? Is it the referrals that you're sending out to the partners? Is it the amount of gross travel bookings that you ultimately drive?
A big set of KPIs. Of course, it's great to grow our reach and followers on the platforms, but that was one of the most important things in the early days, of course. But once you become a more and more mature business, and we have like over 200 employees, you have to pay the salaries and so on. You also look on how to monetize even better, and so that's what we're doing more and more intense. We try to, although not, have it as a super business-driven approach. So it's not a pushy sales approach we have on social media. It's more like, hey, we found this great deal. Check it out if you want. If not, fair enough. So the perception is that we don't want to really sell something. We just found a great deal and are sharing it. And that's what we want to keep, and that's the essence of our success, actually. Otherwise, we wouldn't get that reach.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier that you do the mix of advertiser content that you vet, and then also going out and finding the stuff. But, can you give an idea of the content split between how much of it is advertiser content versus stuff that you just found and want to share out of your passion?
Yeah, I think the advertiser content is maybe 25 or 30%. Everything else is what we find with our systems. Yeah, and it's a lot flight driven. Mm-hmm. So most deals start with a flight. If we find a great fare to XYZ, like to Buenos Aires for 200 euros, people might consider to fly there, even though they hadn't before, and that's where things start. And then you suggest a hotel and things to do down there, and yeah, we inspire people by doing that. Yeah.
And so you guys are present in Europe, in many markets in Europe, but also in the U.S. now, right?
Right.
How's the U.S. going for you?
Good. So we started in 2016.
Okay.
I mean, it's I always say it's just not like entering into Luxembourg. It's a different thing. So it's a huge market, and there actually it's not one market. It's like at least 4, 5, or 6 markets. So we have to have a more regional approach to the US than in European markets. So we figured those things out. It's growing like crazy. It's a huge opportunity, but we only been there for 3 years, so there's a lot to do still.
In the U.S., there was, this period of time when these deal sites or flash sale sites, things that are very much based around the value of the price, right? So I'm thinking JetSetter and Living Social, Groupon. There's even Amazon Local. It was very trendy, and then it kind of fizzled.
Yeah.
So why do you think that the U.S. is an appropriate market for Holiday Pirates?
We see that people like deals. So if we manage to find great content, it just works. I mean, we've seen it in all these markets, and they're all different, of course. So the UK is different than Germany and France and so on. So they all have their differences, and the US as well. But what's in common is that people love to travel. It's just a question where to, and what exactly triggers them. But once you figure that out, then you're successful, and it works well for us. Yeah. So we're growing very, very fast.
And so, travel deals are very much so in that inspirational stage, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have plans to move further down the funnel?
Yeah, we have actually. In some markets, we have also started to do the booking. So in the German-speaking markets, we also process package travel bookings, so they're bookable on our website, and that could happen in other countries as well. But we're not necessarily pushing towards that direction. If it makes sense, we'll do it. If not, we don't have to. The most important thing is to stay relevant and find these great deals. And it's not like the businesses you mentioned before, they try to source this deals by themselves and be the merchant of record, so to speak. And that we're not trying to do that. So we actually operate as a lead generator for many of the common brands out there. They love to work with us and promote their product because they somehow miss out on addressing social media traffic themselves.
And you used to run an OTA, right? Like a traditional OTA that was in all the segments. Any learnings from your years there that you're applying now to Holiday Pirates?
Yeah, absolutely. So running an OTA, you find yourself in this vicious circle of throwing money into Google ads, into SEM, eventually starting TV ads, and all the things. So everyone's doing more or less the same. And it's not very sustainable to run the business. Looking at the retention side, and I followed the session earlier with Dana Dunn today. I think they're doing a good job in trying to retain customers that they acquired over other channels. But I don't even want to get into that vicious circle. So that's why we're not going down that way. We're trying to stay innovative in the way we acquire traffic, and that works out very good for us.
I mentioned in your introduction that you guys haven't spent any money in Google advertising.
Right.
You haven't taken any venture funds. So, as you think about future growth, do you think that this is going to be a sustainable approach where you rely on social, don't need to, play in that space of the Google ads? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, there are many thoughts. I mean, we never took external funds. That's right. At some point, that may make sense when you want to grow even faster. We're not there yet. We're growing fast as it is. That's good. But we're investing heavily into tech ourselves, building more or less a deal sourcing and publishing engine. And tech can get expensive at some point. That's right.
Absolutely. Well, we're all out of time. Thank you so much for joining us here today, David.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Armstrong.